Good afternoon, and it's now the afternoon of the 27th. I've done the brakes on the Corona. If you saw my previous video, I was saying about doing the brakes. I'm not going to bore you with watching me do the brakes, but it's just a comparison really. The Corona discs are quite clean. The pistons and everything were quite clean. Bit of dirt on the back one, which might have been why it felt as though it was binding up the other day, but not by much. There's little dots of rust, but nothing terrible. So all the pads and pins and everything are cleaned up. But what I did find, I was trying to push back one of the pistons, and it wasn't having it. And I thought it was maybe because I was trying to push it back and this was over full, but I don't think it was. I think I was trying to push it back at an angle and it got stuck. But because there's the, oh, where are you? There's the fill line there. Look, you can see it quite clearly, halfway between. It is lent over, but I don't think we're too full. But I tried to undo the top, and the screws were a little bit gnarled. Now they're more gnarled. That one there is furped. So I didn't have any JIS screwdrivers, which I found. I'm sure I had some, and the bits that go in the impact driver, but either I've lost them, mistaken that I actually had some, or I just can't find them. But yeah, so I've chewed that up a bit, so I haven't been able to take that off. But what I also discovered was down here, the bottom of the pipe there, you see it? There's a bit of a cracking going on, and it's actually splitting. So that pipe wants renewing. So probably good that I actually checked that out. But yeah, that definitely. Let's get you in there. Focus on this bit. Focus somewhere in there. Yeah, so that's no good. That could fail. Well, it's starting to fail, so that's not good. But I have got, where are you? There. That's Mediocre's old rear reservoir, because Mediocre's got this high-tech fandangled thing. High-tech indeed, which is also filthy. Do with the fluid change on there, and the pipe on this looks good. Where are you? There, looks good. So that needs swapping over before the MOT, because I think they'd cop to that. They'd find that in need. But this is what I was trying to say. In comparison to the Corona, look how rusty the discs are on the booster. You've got that telltale rubbing noise, which just where the rust fills the gap between the pad and the disc. And then on the front here, it's also very apparent. But what's more apparent is that section there, which is where the pad had actually clamped onto the disc. So there's a bit of a clonk when I pushed it forward, a bit of a clonk where it released, and then again you've got that shh, 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 as it's going round. But just thought I'd show you the comparison. They've both been used in wet weather. If anything, the Corona's been in wetter weather than the booster. But yeah, just that tiny film between the pads and the disc is enough just to hold on to it. But I don't think it's, I mean, let me know in the comments, I don't think it's detrimental having the rust on there. You know, if you didn't do anything about it for years, obviously you'd probably want, not obviously, but you'd almost definitely want new discs and pads and rebuilding brakes and Christ knows what else. But with the Corona, they're quite shiny. You know, there's dots of it, more so on the back. There's a few dots of rust, but yeah, it's quite shiny. I just thought I'd share that with you. And do you guys get any problems with your wetness? Not in there, in there. And binding brakes. I mean, as I say, this is the 27th today, and I used this Christmas Eve. So I rode home from work Christmas Eve lunchtime. So 3 days. Yeah, about 3 days, just over 3 days, and it's enough to rust the disc up like that. Mediocre doesn't seem to suffer at all with the rusty disc. Been caught out in wet weather with Mediocre, but not purposely been out in the rain. Whereas because the Busa and the Corona are commuter bikes, they go out no matter the weather, as you can probably tell with the filth all over them. It is disgusting, and people will hate this. Scratching your paintwork just to prove a point. But there you go. That was my finding so far. As I say, Busa's up on the ramp. Just going to be starting doing the pads, brakes on the Busa, clean up the pistons and everything, make sure it's all alright, make sure that shit doesn't go back into the caliper or whatever. But I don't think it can it? The only time you could actually get the pistons, the shit on the pistons to go back past your what would they call it, scraper ring? It's not the hydraulic ring, that's the inner one, isn't it? So the outer one, the cleaning ring, if you like. The only way it could get past that is if you actually push your pistons in when they were filthy, and you're only going to do that when they are having new pads. You need a maximum, push them back to the maximum so you can get the big thick pads back in. I suppose if you leave it dirty for too long, it is going to attack the outer surface of the piston and then start rusting and pot marking it. So do I recommend cleaning your brakes regular? I recommend you do what you need to do, and if you face costly bills for your calipers being rebuilt, that's down to you. Anyway, that's long enough. I just thought I'd show you the comparisons in the discs, and I don't know why they're all Suzuki's. I think they are the original discs on the bikes. I did get is it a micrometer? The one that goes like that, and then you wind. Oh, sorry. And then you wind that bit in to measure it. It's that shape, and wind this bit in. Whatever that's called. I think it's a micrometer. Anyway, I might as well just show you it. This drawer, yeah. So one of these. One of that type. Just use that to measure my front disc on the Busa, and minimum thickness, it says there, is 5mm, and it's 5.25. I don't know how thick they are when you first get them, but I wouldn't imagine they're much thicker than 5mm, because obviously your pads are the sacrificial part. But yeah, so anyway, going into waffling territory again. But yes, just showing you in comparison, the Corona and the Busa, which have been out in comparatively bad weather, Corona getting the worst of it, and the Corona was last used on the 23rd, yeah, Monday 23rd, so that's had an extra day of opportunity to rust, and it hasn't. So there you go, there's my findings. What do you reckon? Have you had the same sort of grief? Are you worried about the rust on your discs? Should you be worried about the rust on your discs? I don't think you should. They are naked metal. They are going to rust when exposed to the elements. Not the elephants. They'll probably be warped if they're exposed to elephants. But yeah, the elements get hold of everything. Anyway, that'll do for me. And probably more than enough for you. If you got this far, thanks very much. And hopefully I'll see you again. Turn that off. Oh, annoying. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll catch you again. Ta-ra.